Hey everyone, Anne O'Connell with OC Publishing here, and welcome to the author journey. I hope you're staying safe and warm wherever you are. If you're anywhere in the Northeast, on the Eastern Seaboard, you've been walloped with some nasty weather. I'm happily holed up in a new location. You can tell my background's a little bit different. It's nice and bright and cheery. I have to find something to fill that space, but we'll do that. But Happy New Year. Again, we've had a couple of shows in January, and it's been such a wonderful month. We've had some incredible guests. I hope you're enjoying the new year and the guests we've been having on the author journey. And we keep the momentum going because today we have Jan Fancy Hull, who is the author of 12 books. Boy, can we learn something from her, including one of nonfiction, 2 of short stories, the ongoing and award-winning Tim Brown mystery series that I've just started. So I have the first one here, January Code, that I've just finished reading, and I'm really looking forward to continuing to number 2. Prize-winning poetry included in that list of what she writes. She launched her 9th cozy mystery novel in September 2025. Moose House Publications of Annapolis, Royal, Nova Scotia, has published all of her books. Her stories are set mostly along Nova Scotia's South Shore. I had to practice that a little bit. That's a tongue twister. Where she lives on the shore of a small lake in Lunenburg County. When not editing, she writes poetry inspired by the lake. She writes her novels in the winter, sitting by the fire, that I think she's probably doing as we speak. She has also developed a workshop for writers at all stages of their endeavors on the non-writing aspects of the writer's life called Get Writing. The workshop deals with such challenges as scheduling writing time, personal expectations, finding a reliable sounding board, and how to kick that writer's block for good. So we'll have to ask her about that one as well. And for now, I want you to join me in welcoming Jan Fancy Hull to the author journey.
Hi,
Jan. Welcome.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
It's so wonderful to have you. It's been on my to-do list to have you on for a while. So I'm very happy that we finally made it happen. And there you are, sitting by that beautiful fire with, I know that's so beautiful, and it's real, with that beautiful winter wonderland in behind, but nice that you don't have to go out in it unless you have to, right?
Right.
So you're in a little cabin in the woods. What a wonderful writing spot.
Remember that song we used to sing, in a cabin in the woods, little rabbit? I don't know how it goes.
A little by the window stood.
By the window.
A rabbit hopping by. And inspiration.
It is my happy place, that's for sure. It's very, I to anyone who will listen, and you have to now, I say that I believe that my ancestors were cave dwellers at the back of the cave. And in the wintertime, they just hauled up a big, like a brontosaurus bone and just kept,
gnawing on it.
Gnawing it on the fire. And they'd send somebody out once in a while to say, is it warm yet? And, they didn't care because they were so cozy at the back of the cave. And so my sisters, I will tell you, have not inherited that aspect of loving winter and darkness, but I do, and I find it just the perfect time for pulling up the drawbridge and writing.
Well, you have inspired me. I've recently moved to the country, and I am so loving the idea of just hunkering down, getting my next book written. So your advice is I'm listening with my ears wide open. And you're working on the last in the Tim Brown mystery series right now?
Yes.
So like I said, I've just finished reading number 1, and you're on 12.
I know.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Over what period of time have these 12 books been written?
6-ish years, something like that.
That's amazing. Like, how do you must be able to really shut the world out and focus. Like, what does your
Well,
writing day
I,
look like?
I do. When I first submitted January Code to Moose House Publishing, you're supposed to just send off your manuscript. Don't fuss it up or anything. Don't cover fancy stuff on.
Mm-hmm.
I never been able to leave that alone. So I wrote January Code, and then I wrote Tim Brown Mystery. So I sent it over to the editor, and he responded, Tim Brown Mystery. Does this mean that there would be more Tim Brown mysteries? And if so, would they have the next one? Would the next one be February, etc.? And I said, I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. I just wrote the first novel of my life. So that was step one, and was, I mean, can you imagine getting that kind of offer? And step two was that I realized in the full light of my bathroom mirror that I'm no kid.
It's kind of a shock when you catch that reflection and you don't recognize it, right?
I don't look honestly. Right. So then I thought, well, how am I going to write 12 novels? If I write one a year, I'm going to be quite old.
You could do a February, March, or you could do a seasonal, right?
Yeah. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. And I thought, no, I'm going to write 2 a year. And so I did, I think I did February as a NaNoWriMo project, maybe.
Yes, my first novel was a NaNoWriMo. Mm-hmm.
And I thought, well, that's okay. And I just shut the doors, let the days grow long and dark, and don't bother me. And so I got my 50,000 words done in 20 days.
Yeah. Oh, you did it in less than 30 days.
Yeah. So I finished that novel on the, started on the 1st of November, and I finished on the 3rd of December. There's a lot of going back and fixing.
Sure.
But I knew I had a good enough book. And so then I thought, well, I don't need NaNoWriMo. They bothered me as more than anything. Mm-hmm. And I think now it's called Nov. Oh,
is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. November novel or something?
November novel.
Yeah. But did it prove to you, so what it did for me, that it proved to me that I could do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And some people participate in NaNoWriMo every year, and then where's that book gone? I don't know. There's
not a plan.
Mm-hmm. So that's like going, having a coma or something. I'm not going to be available for 30 days, but then and
there's no goal. Yeah.
That seems sad in a way, but
yeah. So here you had a publisher that was saying, "Oh, this is going to be a great series, so you must have 12." So in your mind, you're like, "Oh my goodness!" So, well, first of all, where did the character of Tim Brown come from? So he's a news guy. In my mind, so I have a brother who was like a lifetime news guy. So all of a sudden I had an image in my head that Tim looked like him. But so Tim Brown, he's a newspaper editor and turns like sort of PI. So how did you fabricate him?
Well, back in the day, I retired 20 some years ago now. I retired early and through a stroke of great good fortune. And nobody had to die for me to get it. And I live in a small cottage now, so that helps with the good fortune. But back in the day, I wrote my first novel and was 120,000 words. I wrote the history of the world, and it just went on. But it was my sampler, I was in my stitching practice. It was
playing around,
learning. I was learning how to write a story. And I remember that at one point I wanted, a knock came on the door, and I thought, how do I how do I get her from the chair to the door? How do you write that?
Mm-hmm.
And
without being boring.
Yeah, she got up and walked to the door, I guess is what you don't really have to say that. Anyhow, I wrote it and wrote it and wrote it and wrote it. And then I submitted it to the Writers Federation of Nova Scotia, and I got really nice comments, but I didn't win. So of course I was mad and I threw it under the bed. And then that's my response.
That's a lot of work to throw under the bed, right?
Yeah, well, I put it away for a while, and then I took it out and looked at it, and I thought, oh my God, this is not a book. And so then I'd written a nonfiction book called Where's Home.
Mm-hmm.
I submitted that to Moose House. That's how I met them. And and then they were, like, yeah, got anything else? And so I went back to that big book, and I took the third character. Tim Brown wasn't the protagonist in that book.
Mm.
He was the third in line, and I liked him. I thought he had possibilities.
I love that.
And I thought, I am not writing a book about work. I mean, so I gave him a sabbatical.
Mm-hmm.
And so the whole series, the 12 books, are Tim on sabbatical. Get away. He's 40 years old, and his mother had always been telling him what to do, and he wants to break free. And so he tells everybody that he's going to Delve, which nobody really knows unless you say into after that.
Right.
I'm going to study what? I'm going to delve into what, But he doesn't know. He just wants to get out and explore the world, really.
Mm-hmm.
The whole series, now this is going on beyond your question, the whole series is that 12 months of Tim away from the office, but he's there almost every day.
Delving, right?
Delving.
Yes. And I think I love the premise that he just, as a news guy, you're getting out the 5 W's and the H, in 500 words, boom, it's out. But you don't often go back and find out what happened to the people who were involved in the news incident. So I love that he wants to delve. I thought that was brilliant, and in leaving it open and not saying into what is what draws people in, because they want to learn more, right? Yeah. And so the mysteries, as you progress through the months, what are some of the mysteries that he gets involved in?
Oh dear. Well, there
a couple of examples.
Yeah, a couple of examples. Well, he hires a landscaping firm to spiff up his backyard. Mm-hmm. And there's an old woodshed that has toppled over, and that's moved. And so they're out there with the rototiller and preparing to put down sod or grass seed. And he leaves them on a Saturday morning. They're doing that. When he comes home, the police are there, and there's yellow tape all around his house. So in that case, so there are human remains there, and how old they are and how they got there and all that is Tim's mystery. He's going to find out.
Excellent.
Nobody's all that concerned, except they won't let him back in his own house for the whole weekend in case he does know who's in the ground.
Right.
So there's that. So he's very, very frustrated with the police. There's another one where he is at the beach, Somerville Beach on the south shore of Nova Scotia, one of the most beautiful beaches anywhere.
Yes.
And he's got this game where he takes his lawn chair, his beach chair, and he keeps moving it ahead as the tide goes out or tide goes back in.
Yeah. So he's always on the edge of the water.
He's on the edge, and
I do that.
Said, this is the earth turning. We are following the rotation of the earth when this happens.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very, metaphysical kind of thing.
Love that.
And then they turn around. There's a guy with one of those
Metal detectors.
metal detectors. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And he's hauling up something, and he doesn't get it, and so he falls over, gathers up his stuff, and runs away mad. But Tim says that he's dropped something, so he gets up and tries to get it and catch the guy. Sprains his ankle in the process because the sand at the top of the beach is not good stuff to run in.
Mm-hmm.
He goes home with a limp and a puzzle box that this guy dropped. And so the mystery is there's a puzzle which contains another puzzle inside and an anagram, and then he gets the box and somehow it leads him to the person that owned it, who accuses him of stealing it, but he didn't steal it. The person that was running off. And then there's a crazy posse of people that go to confront the guy, and so
I love it. Crazy posses are the best, right?
I
So
know.
do you have something that you'd like to read for us
Yeah,
today?
sure.
Yay. Okay.
This is fresh off the press.
Excellent.
I was writing this on Sunday. I'm halfway through my 12th book right now, so it's not. I haven't, edited a word of it. But anyway, in this one, Tim has been asked to try and help a church group, or a group that's meeting at the church, an AA group, to find money that they've been saving for the Christmas dinner, and it's gone. So Tim is visiting with the pastor in the church in question, who seems to be a little spicy. His name is Josh Delaney. Hi again, Josh, Tim said, extending his hand. Sorry we got cut off there. Got another minute? I have some more info, and I'd really appreciate your opinion on it. Reverend Josh Delaney searched Tim's face for recognition. We were talking? What about? Privately, please? The pastor shrugged, walked out of the room, and led Tim not to his office, but out of the building. Okay, who are you? Delaney demanded. I wasn't talking to you on the phone this morning. Oh, did I say that? I meant to say this month. I had called you about the AA Christmas dinner. Oh, you're that guy. Look, I told you to keep away from this. This is a church matter, and we don't appreciate you trying to stir up trouble to write about in your little newspaper. Just leave it alone. The more you talk like that, Reverend, the more likely it is that something will appear in the paper when we get to the true story. Here's what I have so far. A dysfunctional family, missing funds, and a charitable dinner about to be canceled, possibly deliberately. I don't know by whom or why yet, but I'll find out. What's your involvement in all this? None. Why point fingers at me? Those people use the church for their meetings and their annual dinner, but that's all. They're not part of the church. They've made that abundantly clear. I don't know anything about their money. But Josh, you do know. You told the committee that you went to the bank to ask about the money, didn't you? After the people who were entrusted with it didn't show up. Sure, I tried to help. By telling a lie? Because you didn't go to the bank, Josh. Look, fella, I don't like what you're implying. I'm Tim, and I'm not implying anything. I'm stating a fact. You did not go to the South River branch to ask about the fundraising money. Therefore, the bank did not tell you that the account had been closed. Someone else told you. Who was it? They needed to know their money's gone so they could cancel that dinner before I just made up something those people could understand and move on. That's all. Bottom line, their money's not there. And what? Tim said, his voice calm in contrast to the pastor's rising pitch. The couple who were entrusted with the funds, the Oikels, they're members of your congregation. You must have spoken with them about this. What did they say? Nothing. They're away. When they come back, they'll explain. Will that be in time for the volunteers to buy supplies for their dinner? They need to know by this weekend. I don't know. Look, AA is just an outside group that rents space from us. I'm going to put a stop to that anyway. Problems like this crop up when we try to help people who don't share our values and principles. That sounds like you don't want them to find their money. Do you know where the Oikels are? They're not at home, I know. Am I my brother's keeper? Is Jim Oikel your brother? I was quoting scripture. We follow the word here, not like those people. Where have the Oikels gone? In the city, maybe, or down south? It's time for you to leave, mister, and mind your own business from now on. Tim nodded and turned to leave, and then turned back. One last question. I'm not sure if I asked you already. Do you know where the money is now? No, I don't, Delaney said forcefully. If Oikel told you he closed the bank account, he must have told you where the money is stashed. I thought you were friends. They're away, I told you. Can you call them? Not down there, no. Ah, of course. Not down there. Thanks, Josh. You've been very helpful. I'll keep working on this from my end. I hope one of us figures it out in the next day or two. Call me if you hear anything, and I'll do the same.
Yay! That's one of the things that is obvious to me, having read the first book and listening to this, is you have a style or a great way of writing dialogue.
Thank you.
So you're welcome. Does that come naturally to you? And like when you sit down to write, what comes first?
It comes naturally to them. They talk. Mm-hmm. And when I'm if I'm ever stuck, and if I don't catch it, my editor does. He'll say, "This is exposition. This should be dialogue." You know, mm-hmm. Because I just want to get over this thing and get on with it. Honestly, the easiest writing is to put people together, especially if there's some opposition, and let them talk. And I will sit down many, many times, and I think, I don't know where this is going. And then I get up at the end of it, and I think, that was good. And it isn't always confrontational. Tim's aunt, his mother's sister, mm-hmm. is a living relative, and Stella is a pistol and quite cranky at the beginning of the series. And when they get together, it's just bing, bang with them at each other. She's at him, mm-hmm. and he's trying
but they love it. That's the sense I got from that first book. Are you telling me she softens a bit? I hope not. I kind of like that.
They go through an awful lot. I mean, it's 12 books.
Right.
And the thing is that people do have to change in 12 mm-hmm. books, or else it's just, I don't know, like
gets dull, yeah.
Tracy or something. Mm-hmm. But there are some characters, a lot of people in South River, the community that is mm-hmm. Not, because I'm not naming the community that this stands in for, just because I don't want people to say, oh, I bet you that's that and this.
Yes.
So there's.
They will anyway, you know.
Well, I was doing a presentation for the Lunenburg Literary Festival last fall, and I was saying that, you know, there's in this community, there's the towns of Mahone Bay, mm-hmm. Lunenburg, and another one, Bridgewater, but so I name Mahone Bay and Lunenburg, but Bridgewater is South River. Mm-hmm. Works for the community newspaper there, and somebody in the back said, was it called the Bulletin? Because that is the name of the weekly newspaper in Bridgewater. And I said, no, it's not. And for that very reason, the mother and the whole heritage of the paper, It's not the founding family of that newspaper. So I just couldn't possibly.
Absolutely. But it's, you do kind of get little ideas and things are triggered and as you live life, right? And you've had quite a varied background. I want to give a shout out before we're finished to the folks who are watching, and Lana coming all the way from Calgary. You probably know
Hey, Lana.
Lana. Yes, she says you're an expert at listening to your characters. You're also a brilliant reader. A brilliant reader. We love that.
I guess, yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, I know. And she says every community has them. It's funny characters, I imagine. So, I mean, do you pull from the varied background, from you worked as a freelancer at CBC, you were a sailboat captain, you've done so many different really cool things. Do you find yourself pulling, from characters that are in your past or little bits and pieces?
Yes, of course. Yeah. I will sometimes cobble bits and pieces together. Like this minister in this church. I have no idea who that is. But he's a guy that's supposed to be nice and isn't. And I have met so many of those.
Yes.
There's a character, the one has taken the money. He's tall, loud, grows his hair over his collar, and his wife is a bottle blonde. So you can like them or not, but in this case, that's how the villains are being painted. Or we don't know who the villains are actually, whether or not. But I've met those. In fact, I've seen the one that I just mentioned on TV quite a bit recently. I mean, you can take a person and how they move and how they respond and say, you're full of shite, and I'm going to put you in a scene where I need
right.
change the names and all of that and carry on.
I got a new mug for Christmas, and it says, be careful what you do. You might wind up in one of my novels.
Yeah, but hopefully you will not recognize yourself.
Right. Right.
I've worked in, I worked in business, and I worked with a lot of a-holes, and so they're low hanging fruit, really. But the thing is, the reason that I thought I would go into journalism when I was young, and I played at it for about 6 months with a friend. And I thought, people are they're not speaking the words that I want them to speak. And the tendency for me to rewrite what they was terribly strong. And I thought, I wasn't trying to make them say things that they
fabricate things, right?
I wanted them to say it better. And I do that still today. I mean, in the news, everybody is talking in sound bites. And I think, you could have done better with that.
Yeah.
Better. And, given 6 hours a day to sit down and edit that line, you could have come up
one piece.
Better.
Exactly.
And I do that when I'm meeting people, talking to people all the time. I'm sorry to say, but I'm listening and filtering. So yeah,
it's kind of, one of the downsides of the trade. It's our cross to bear. So tell us a little bit, bring us into your world. Tell us a little bit about what your writing day looks like before we wrap up. How does Jan unfold her day?
Coffee, fire on, open up the laptop, and sit.
And write.
And before I start a book, I have a period of wheel spinning or nest building, and I can tell. I mean, I'm like any old barnyard chicken because I start scratching around, and I need to vacuum and dust the house, and I need to put everything away, and And I recognize it now. First, I thought I was avoiding writing when I was doing this, but I'm not. I want to take all the distractions away,
Mm-hmm.
and so that when I come downstairs and put the coffee on, I want to make sure I've got lots of coffee and cheese and an orange.
I love it.
Snow, and then I write until I am either cross-eyed or done the day, and that could be 6 hours of writing, probably. And every day, if I could, I would do that. But some days I have to leave.
We have life that leads, other things calling our time. Well, we're right at our time, but I wanted to talk just really quickly about, I'm going to show folks your website. And I want you to just give us in a nutshell what your program Get Writing entails and why you started it.
Well, because I hear a lot of people say, oh, I'd like to write a book, but I can't, and I didn't know how to start, or I'd like to get back at writing, and people who've written professionally in their work, and they don't know how to get back in the groove.
Right.
And so I want to be able to say to them the words that will trigger some renewed vigor. I also want to blow the dust off of the imposter syndrome. I think I have imposter syndrome. Don't think you have it. Don't have it. Just don't have it. Right. We talk about it, what it is. And by the way, only non-imposters have imposter syndrome. So that's
you're right. 100%. Yeah.
And
so people can get to your website and see all your books. And I want to also give a shout out to some folks who have joined in. Sarah Butland. Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
And friends at Vickery House Books say the fun of creating the people in your imagination and taking them to the page. That is very true. And Sarah says the trick of the trade is being observant and try to understand people. They shape our characters for sure. And we're just always watching those around us. And Christine Fowler just joined as well. Hi, Christine. So my goodness, I could just continue for another hour, Jan, but we'll wrap this up. And once 12 comes out, we'll have you come back. And, I was going to say, I want to come and sit in that beautiful spot in front of that fire and write with you.
You're welcome to do that. And my website that you flashed up there's a button on that where people can click on that and get taken right to a free copy of a prequel to my series.
Oh, excellent. Okay, so there it is. Click here to sign up for your free book.
Yep. And excellent. And then I do write a monthly newsletter, just monthly. Really, that's all I can do. I try to make them interesting and have something to do with writing.
It's amazing. And you're amazing. And I've loved having you and definitely have you back. And Karen Smith just said, thank you so much for sharing. We appreciate everybody who's watching. And please pick up Jan's books. Support indie authors and write reviews. We love those, don't we, Jan?
Yes, please.
So we'll get you back in the near future.
Thank you, Ann. Thanks so much.
My pleasure. And thank you all for joining us on the author journey today. I'm Ann O'Connell, and we're just having so much fun learning about authors in our community and the publishing business. It's a convoluted, complicated industry, but we love it, and that's why we do what we do. So I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're staying safe and warm, and we'll see you next time on the author journey. Bye for now.